The night wraps around you like old velvet. Somewhere nearby, a candle flickers behind a foggy glass, and the wind hums gently like it remembers a lullaby. The world slows down, and so do you. Before you lie a story buried in silence, etched not in books but in weathered stone, half-lost trails, and staircases that lead to skies. These are the cities you won't find on modern maps. The kind where the roofs are gone, but the souls somehow linger. Where the doors stand open, but the people left centuries ago. Tonight, you walk through them. But fair warning, you probably won't make it through this day. Civilizations tend to collapse under pressure. So do we. So, before we begin, let yourself relax. Lay back. Let your breath fall into the rhythm of something ancient, like the slow creak of a temple gate or the whisper of wind through empty corridors. If you enjoy traveling slowly through time with your eyes closed, gently press that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. And drop your location and local time in the comments. It's comforting to know who else is quietly wandering through history at 2:17 a.m. Now let's ease into tonight's journey. You are standing at the edge of a city no one remembers. The sky is heavy with mist, and the earth is soft beneath your feet, like it's been asleep too long. Before you, a staircase of worn limestone climbs into the trees. The steps are slick with moss and echo with footsteps that aren't yours. You take the first step. It sighs beneath your weight. The second one doesn't complain. By the third, you've stopped thinking about your phone. This is Mohenjo-daro, one of the oldest planned cities in the world. Around 2500 BCE, people here bathed in public pools, traded goods from distant lands, and had more consistent sanitation than some 21st century apartments. And yet, no one knows why they left. Theories float: climate change, invasions, drying rivers, but the walls don't talk. They just crumble gently in the rain. You run your fingers along one of them. The brick is cool and rough, and for a second, you think you hear a market's hum, children yelling, merchants haggling, the soft clink of beads and bangles. But it's just the wind, playing tricks again. Down the alley, you see a deep rectangular basin. That's the Great Bath. It once shimmered with clean water brought in by clever drains and filled with prayers. Some say it was spiritual. Others think it was a social thing, like ancient community pools. Historians still debate whether it was sacred cleansing or small talk in sandals. A lizard watches you from the edge of the basin. It blinks, unimpressed. You nod in agreement. Being forgotten must be exhausting. You wander into a long hallway, stone on both sides, the roof long gone. The walls lean just slightly, like they're tired of standing. Your footsteps echo, soft and solitary. It smells faintly of dust and warm silence. Here's your first strange tidbit. Archaeologists found perfectly preserved dice and board games here. People played to pass the time, thousands of years ago, while the world shifted quietly around them. You imagine someone sitting where you are now, bored after breakfast, carving patterns into ivory, waiting for someone else to show up. Maybe they never did. Maybe they're still waiting. You exit the hallway into what used to be a street. It bends gently between mud brick walls, some collapsed, some bravely upright. A fig tree grows where a bakery might have been. You stop, take a breath. Even the birds are quiet here. You think about how this city had no palaces. No giant statues declaring anyone king. Just wide streets, wells every few homes, and a whole lot of planning. It makes you wonder whether they knew something we forgot. As you round the corner, the sun presses low. Shadows stretch out like sleepy dogs. You sit on a cracked ledge. A breeze passes through, carrying with it a smell you can't name. Earthy. Faintly sweet. The past, maybe. Then, everything changes. The light shifts. The stones blur. The air grows thinner. You blink, and you're no longer in the Indus Valley. Now you're high in the mountains. The clouds drift below you. The stones underfoot are smooth and dry. Around you, a city perches like it's part of the cliffs themselves, Machu Picchu. You walk slowly, boots muffled on ancient terraces. The grass is neatly cut, as if someone still cares. In a way, maybe they do. Built by the Inca, hidden from the Spanish, and untouched by time until an explorer stumbled upon it in 1911, Machu Picchu wasn't a fortress. It wasn't even a capital. It was something else. A ceremonial retreat? A royal estate? A high-altitude getaway for ancient nobility? Historians still debate what it truly was. But tonight, it's just yours. You walk past stone walls carved so precisely that even now, you can't slip a credit card between the blocks. You pause at a doorway with no door. Inside, a room that once held silence so deep it may still echo. Llamas wander. Nearby, grazing like they own the place. One stops, looks at you sideways, and walks off like you're not worth the effort. You climb to the Intihuatana stone, the hitching post of the sun. A carved pillar where they say the Inca watched the heavens and read the time. You reach out. The stone is warm. It vibrates faintly, like the mountain is humming. Behind you, mist rolls in again. The city begins to vanish, not because it's disappearing, but because it never really wanted to be seen. And now, you're moving again. Another step. Another breath. Another place where voices once rose and fell, and now only dust listens. You blink, and suddenly you're surrounded by jungle. Trees tower overhead, thick vines curl like sleeping serpents, and in the clearing ahead, moss-covered pyramids rise from the green. Welcome to Calakmul, an ancient Maya city swallowed whole by the rainforest. The path is narrow, leaves brushing your arms as you walk. It smells rich here, like loam, like secrets, like things no one's written down. You step over roots, avoid a small stone that might be a jaguar's tooth, or maybe just a rock with ambition. The stairs ahead are steep. You climb them slowly, counting each one. At the top, wind greets you. The jungle stretches forever, a green ocean rippling in the light. Birds call in the distance. Somewhere below, a howler monkey complains about dinner. You sit near a crumbled stela. The carving's worn, once a king, now just a shape. You trace the edges anyway. Here's your major historical fact. Calakmul was once one of the two superpowers of the Maya world, locked in constant rivalry with Tikal. Wars weren't fought just with spears, but with alliances, marriages, and long-game politics. In other words, ancient Game of Thrones, just sweatier. You smile to yourself. Maybe the past isn't so distant after all. A strange sound catches your ear. Not jungle. Not bird. It's singing. Faint, melodic, not in any language you know. You stand. The light flickers again, and the trees fall away. The jungle fades like a curtain being pulled. The colors drain, the sounds hush, and you're drifting again, past roots, past rivers, past years stacked like fallen bricks. This time, you land in dust. Not the fertile kind that cradles new life. No. This is bone-dry dust that settles into the cracks of your lips and the corners of your thoughts. You squint against the sun. The light is too bright, too clean. The wind here doesn't whisper. It scrapes. Ahead, half swallowed by the desert, is the city of Persepolis. You walk its causeways slowly, your feet tracing the same steps once taken by Persian kings, foreign dignitaries, and sandal-wearing accountants who probably hated stairs. The stone beneath you is warm, weathered, and carved with scenes of tribute and ceremony. Rows of long-gone people bring baskets, fabrics, and animals etched in perfect procession. You pause before a towering relief. A lion devours a bull, frozen forever in art. It's symbolic, night conquering day, or power reminding you who's in charge. Ancient empires had a flair for metaphor. And taxes. Here's your historical anchor, Persepolis was founded by Darius I in 518 BCE. It served as the ceremonial heart of the Achaemenid Empire. Celebrations, feasts, declarations, all played out on these platforms beneath towering columns. And then Alexander came and burned it. Probably not out of spite, though maybe a little. You wander through the remnants of the Apadana, the grand audience hall. Giant columns reach for a sky that's moved on. Most of the roof is gone. Birds own it now. Their nests balance in the shadows, small defiant homes in a palace meant for gods and governors. You find shade beneath a broken wall. Carvings there are less precise, faded, like someone started the story but left halfway through. A breeze stirs the sand. You blink, and just like that, the stone blurs again. Now you're somewhere colder. Stone towers rise from sharp cliffs, and the ocean crashes below. Salt stings the air, and gulls cry above. The land smells of iron and fire. Ahead, ringed by broken walls and wind-bent trees, lie the bones of a Celtic stronghold, Dun Angus, perched on the edge of Ireland. The stone walls curve in crescents, built without mortar, stacked by hands who knew how to shape silence. You walk slowly, careful not to disturb the wind's rhythm. There's no roof. There never was. Just sky. You sit at the edge of the cliff. Below, waves slam into ancient stone with the fury of time itself. You wonder what was spoken here, what bargains were made, what songs sung, what lovers kissed behind those gray walls. Here's your weird cultural tidbit. Ancient Celts often buried butter in bogs to preserve it. Yes, really. Archaeologists have unearthed bog butter thousands of years old, yellow, waxy, and technically still edible. Please don't. You walk the arc of the fort, following its ancient rhythm. There's no straight line here, just curves, circles, the shapes of memory and myth. Your footsteps don't echo. The stone absorbs them, like it's used to secrets. And then comes the fog. You step into it without fear. It welcomes you, soft and cold. When it clears, you're on a high plateau surrounded by walls. Thick ones. Circular. Built not to impress, but to endure. Welcome to Great Zimbabwe. Stone walls rise around you, not stacked with mortar or glue, but carefully placed, each granite block shaped by patience. The curves are graceful, almost gentle. This place doesn't shout its power. It hums it. Built between the 11th and 15th centuries, Great Zimbabwe was the heart of a powerful African kingdom. At its height, tens of thousands lived around these walls. Trade routes reached the coast. Gold passed through these gates. So did stories. You touch the warm stone. It doesn't give. It never has. You wander past a narrow passage, barely wide enough for your shoulders. It twists like a question. At its end, silence. And sky. Scholars still argue whether this was a royal city, a trading post, or something more symbolic. What's agreed upon? It was grand. And it was African. And it challenges everything tired textbooks forgot to say out loud. A bird calls from the tower. A real one, not the soapstone sculpture that once watched over this land, but you think of that bird too. Its wings outstretched, cast in stone, once carried by kings. You sit beside the wall. The grass sways gently. Time feels thick here, like honey. The past hasn't left, it just waits. And now, once again, the world tilts. The air changes. Warmer. Wet. A scent of stone and salt. You find yourself on a hillside above the sea. The buildings around you rise in tiers, white, sun-bleached, and curved like the shell of a sleeping whale. This is Akrotiri, on the island of Santorini. A Minoan city buried not by time but by fire. When the volcano exploded around 1600 BCE, it sealed this town beneath ash, preserving frescoes, pots, staircases, everything but people. You walk down the cobbled street, soft footsteps echoing between empty homes. One wall still holds a painted dolphin, mid-leap. Its blue hasn't faded. It dances forever. There's a bakery here. The oven is intact. Bowls sit abandoned as if the baker just stepped out. You close your eyes and imagine the bread, round, warm, crusted with sesame. Then you remember, no bodies were ever found. They left. Before it fell, the city gave them warning. Tremors. Smoke. Maybe dreams. So they walked away, holding each other, leaving their homes behind in hopes of something kinder. And somehow, that's the softest ending of all. You walk the spiral of the town, down toward where the sea used to be. The volcano still sleeps nearby. Its breath rises in little clouds on the horizon. And here it is, the final place. Or maybe the first. Because now you're standing among bones older than any pyramid, on a windswept hill in Malta. Gantija. The stones are massive. Some weigh over 50 tons. And yet, they were moved over 5,000 years ago. By people who had no metal tools. No wheels. No YouTube tutorials. You walk slowly between the towering slabs. The ground beneath your feet is crushed shell and earth. The air smells of time and old prayers. No one knows exactly what this was. A temple? A calendar? A place for sacred rituals or soft farewells? Historians still debate how they built it, or why. But standing here, under a sky turning to stars, it doesn't matter. The night folds in. You sit in the shadow of stone. And listen. You've walked through silence. Through sand and jungle, cliff and cloud. You've stepped where kings stood, sat where bakers shaped dough, and paused where no one remembers who lived, but still, the walls hold breath. Your feet are tired, but not sore. Your mind is full, but not loud. The stars are out now. Faint at first, then more of them. Like tiny fires that never go out. Above you, the sky stretches without judgment. Below, the earth carries stories like secret letters folded in time. There's no rush here. You're not late for anything. No decisions to make. Just one breath after another. The last city fades behind you, wrapped in warmth and dust and memory. And you did well. You wandered through lost worlds. You remembered the forgotten. Now it's time to rest. Let your body melt into the moment. Let the quiet in. Let the story stay. And when you dream tonight, may the streets curve gently. May the doors stay open. May the stones feel soft beneath your steps. Sleep well, traveler. The past is safe. And so are you.